I'm just hydrating today because someone has to drink these coconuts. I was pretty surprised because usually if the coconut gets this big, then it becomes dry. So for some reason, this one has water. So I don't know, maybe it was in a position where the sun wasn't hitting it that much, and the water is just like very sweet. So I'm like so excited. Tomorrow is the eclipse, and I think there's a new moon as well. And so you're, if you are like committed Ashtanga practitioner, don't forget that those days you need to take off. And yeah, I'm supposed to be on ladies holiday tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I will be, but yeah, I'm gonna be camping, so I'm excited. I'm gonna go camp at the beach, and yeah, see if there's some waves and I can surf for a little bit, hopefully. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to that, taking a little break from the routine. So yeah, I've been trying to get back into my asana practice. So yeah, it's been good. I've been doing like 3 days consistent. So, but I'm trying to not give myself a hard time if I like don't do it because situations can arise. So, anyways, it's pretty good. It's sweet. So the kids are at the park right now, and this is one of those times when I can just take a moment for myself and just yeah, not being interrupted. Yeah. Um, I don't know if you guys, if you have been following what's been going on in the Ashtanga community, but it's been like pretty wild these uh, past past week, and there was like there's a group called 1%, I think, theory in Ashtanga it's on Instagram, and so it's a group of practitioners or ex-practitioners of Taylor Hunt, and they're claiming that he um, was breaking a lot of the rules as a teacher. Um some were saying that he's like sleeping with some of the students, and others were saying that there was like abuse, like mental abuse, and what else? Yeah, just this is just a small summary of what I know. But he ended up just closing his account on Instagram, and he asked for his name to be removed from the authorization list. And then from that, there was another movement that opened up about Mariela Cruz. They were also claiming that she was, misusing her power as a teacher, and I was so surprised about that. But yeah, supposedly a lot of Latin American students came forward about that. And they have been talking about it since a long time. I think if you like Google on Reddit and stuff, there's like some like comments. It's a little, being a teacher can be difficult, because you don't wanna step on the students' shoes, and you don't wanna make them think that they're dependent on you. You want to kind of give them the platform for them to do their best, And so, when I used to teach, I would pretty much just if I was bothered by someone, or like uh, I would just not try not to react on that. I think the only time that I remember having like an issue was with like a student that came like that student was like coming late to class, like at the very end. Like I think I was teaching from 7 a.m. until 10. I would say doors closed at 10, right? And so that day I was just exhausted and I was like ready to leave. And it was 10 a.m. I had been teaching. And so I'm like, as I'm like gonna close the door, um, this student comes in and I'm like, unfortunately I can't, like, I'm gonna close right now because it's like 10 a.m. I can't have you coming in at the very end of the class. And I felt really bad for telling her no, but I feel like, you know, I don't know, I guess I felt guilty because I would tell her, like, just come, even if you're. But she was kind of making it into like a routine. And I know that she had been in the parking space in the car on the phone waiting for a while. So, yeah, that was like a little tricky for me when I had to tell her no. I felt like a bad teacher in a way, but I had to kind of put some boundaries because it can't be, it's my time and I had things to do. So, yeah. And what else? I also know, like, I dealt with some teachers in Egypt that, I just lost a little bit of faith in them because of how they dealt with things. Um, and I did notice like a lot of like jealousy and competition, and you know things that like shouldn't be like in the yoga community, right? Because if you're like teaching and you're supposed to be an example for your students, right? Then shouldn't be any jealousy or competition. um, but yeah, just looking back, about like the hardships, and I get it, everybody wants to succeed and everything, but I think the best that has happened to me is, you know just struggling really with establishing a community here in Hawaii, because, well, not really struggling, I haven't even fully tried. It's just the problem here with doing that is, I need a place, like a public space, right, for people to come and practice. And I would love to open up a shala, but the prices here for a place are just like ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to make money from it. I wouldn't be like, I would be like going on the negative just to pay for the space. So yeah, it's not beneficial for me. Teaching takes a lot of energy, um, not only physically but mentally. You're like dealing with different personalities, and you know I don't know if I will ever go back to teaching. I I will keep my practice, that's for sure. I will keep practicing. I don't know if I'll ever go back into it. I really wish I could, but like at this time in my life, it's just um, things are not aligned for that. So when I was in Egypt, it was easier. Like I didn't have to didn't have that many responsibilities. Now I have more. So yeah, I have priorities. So my priority is, myself, my kids, my husband, and yeah. Uh, yeah. And I'll tell you about how difficult it is for me. Even like when you're teaching, you have to practice. You cannot be teaching without practicing, right? So after I had now, like going back into my daily practice was like very hard, and just mentally hard for me. I didn't feel like practicing. I felt like, just taking breaks and not doing my practice, and so I lost a lot of my ability to do some postures. I'm kind of like working back into it. So and I don't even know if I'll ever get to the level that I was doing up to like almost half intermediate. So now I'm just like, I just started doing dropbacks again, and you know, there are days when I don't even want to do the full primary series. I just want to do half and just finish it. I try to push myself to do the whole thing, but I think that, yeah, the practice is a great tool to stay in shape, and give you energy because you're like, and that this is why I went back into it. I went back to the practice because I don't like feeling weak. I There was a day that I was like, I felt like inside, like just didn't have the same energy as before. I know myself. I know when I practice, I get more energy because the body gets the oxygen. So I was like, that's enough. I gotta go back. And so been, you know, trying to, even I don't really feel like it. I'll just put the yoga mat and I just get ready and I just ignore whatever my brain is saying and I just, you know, just go on the mat and just get it done. And I've been doing live streams of it because I want to keep myself accountable, like I feel like if I know someone's watching me, then I can do. I feel pushed, a little bit more of that push. I'm more motivated. So, yeah. Anyway, and I still even haven't been able to cope with like my teacher's death. It's like I sometimes I can't even like believe it. I'm like, is he really gone? Because a lot of us thought that he'd be staying alive until he was 100, like he was also a yoga practitioner and he led a really healthy life, but he had some issues since he was young, he had rheumatic fever and stuff like that. So think a lot of us think that that was you know, the cause of his early death. But yeah, I I had taken also a break from social media. I mean, I was still doing YouTube, but yeah, I took like I don't know how many months I was out. I left I think it was April. It was like 3 or 4 months. I was like off from social media, and so yeah. And then there are a lot of things that I'm not sure about, like especially with what's going on in the world and in politics and everything. It's a little scary, like just, we got to be careful with how much media we're consuming because there's just a lot going on and it can be a little bit stressful, to be reading all those things. So I think doing yoga for me is gonna be my way of kind of trying to keep sane, and yeah, all we can do is just, I guess, hope for the best, right, and keep ourselves centered, and yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to give you kind of like an update because I've been doing the live streams, but I'm not talking. I'm just doing my yoga practice there, Um, but yeah, there might be some changes, in my life, but right now I can't really talk about it because I'm not really sure if they're gonna happen or not. So, but just trying to stay centered. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end the live stream here, and yeah, I'll just I'm gonna keep like posting some videos here and there when we go camping. Maybe I'll do a live from there and show you the beach. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.